Hi everyone, thank you for coming. So I'm Sam and I'm delighted to welcome Robb to the commercial to discuss his new book, The Art of Darkness, The History of Goth.
Well, there's a very cliched version of what goth is, and it's very narrowed down. People have this idea, it's just miserable people, white faces. And I think, well, for one, it's way wider the culture than that. There's a lot of different versions of it. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a really good setup, a really good club. I really like the idea of these kind of cultural things going on, and sort of what you would say were quite unlikely places. Something like this is probably as good as anything that's going on in Manchester tonight. And the turnout is really good. It's really well organised. And it's finally managed to get to walk around in Glossop after about 40 years of driving through it on the way to Sheffield. I think there's always that thing a lot of time in the music press, any band that's kind of glamorous or something that's not dour is always treated with suspicion, and I think those bands really copped it for that a lot of the time. And also because they came from smaller towns, so they weren't part of the London narrative, so Bauhaus came from Northampton, which at the time would be looked at by people in London as being sort of a bumpkin kind of town. We all have that, don't we? Being Northerners, they always look down us as being a bit simple, don't they? Which is weird because we're the best, aren't we? It's really good. People seem really enthused by it, really interested in it. I thought the questions are really good at the end as well. Very diverse kind of set of questions, which is good. I really like that. And the fact that anybody ever turns up, I always think is really great. I think it's because music's so central to our lives. It's nice sometimes. It's nice to go to gigs and listen to music, but sometimes it's nice to talk about it and communicate how important it is. Earlier on, before I even came in, they're just playing Bela Lugosi's Dead, and it's an astonishing piece of music. It's 9 minutes. It's like dark dub. It's got Daniel Ashey's fantastic sort of textural guitar on it, and that amazingly simple but really effective bass line. It's kind of funny, but it's also quite dark, and it's very very nuanced and very carefully balanced and beautifully made song. And they wrote it in their first rehearsal, so most bands in their first rehearsal are kind of arguing over who's going to have to be the drummer, and they wrote Lugosi's Dead. I think if you're creative, this is probably slightly out of context, but just do the thing, just never feel you can't do it or you're inhibited. Just get up and get on with it, really. I always think that with culture, it should always be, people should feel empowered to make the culture. It's not about having a career in it, it's just about doing it and making it. As well, so the book is a very, very deep dive. This is why it took so long. It does start with the fall of Rome, runs through the Romantic poets. It's the first sighting of the Visigoths, the Goths. Which I always think is quite funny, because everybody denies they're Goths. I was thinking, I always have this little image in my head, the Visigoths pouring into Rome, shouting at all the Romans, cowering in their houses, whatever. We're not Goths, Ladies
and gentlemen, Robb.
So does anybody want to buy a book?